Hi, everyone. I'm Suzanne Shirley, Sapphire Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. We're here tonight with the Freedom Team. We are doing a book study on Rock Your Network Marketing Business by the amazing Sarah Robbins, one of our industry leaders, literally industry leaders. She is a multiple six-figure, multiple six-figure monthly earner, multimillionaire in her skincare company. She's also a master network marketer and trainer of our profession. So if you check out her website, I know I'm promoting her, I don't make a dime, sarahrobbins.com. You can follow her on all of her social media outlets, and she's everywhere. She's on YouTube. She does trainings. She does them for free. You can pay her to do them as well. Right now, she's offering a free coaching course, literally personal coaching. So right now we are on chapter 3, and it's one of my favorites and I wrote at the top, because I take a lot of notes, guys. Love Sarah Robbins. This is one of my, one of the first books that I ever read as a brand new network marketer. You know, we come into this industry and we have a set of skills from whatever job or profession that we're in. And that's what we bring into this. But we also have to develop new skills, and we have to learn new things. And those things I began learning from her. So the chapter 3 that we're on tonight, she's talking about making, you know, preparation and a mental mindset of a CEO. You have to put on your entrepreneur mindset and your entrepreneur hat, because that's what you are. You're a business owner. And in order to be successful, this chapter focuses on 3 things. Self-management overall. Self-management. That's one of the biggest indicators of success, is if you can manage yourself. Managing yourself. What are we going to manage? We're going to manage our expectations of how fast or quick this is supposed to be, or how you know, expecting too much, too quickly, too soon. You got to manage that. We have to manage our emotions. Don't allow them to go up and down on a freaking roller coaster ride, because it's ridiculous. You're gonna quit if you do that. Okay, you got to manage your emotions. You've got to manage your time. Some people struggle with that more than anything else, is managing their time. And those are the 3 areas of self-management that she's going to talk about in this chapter. So you're your own boss. And sometimes that's the best thing, and sometimes it's the worst thing, being your own boss, because you design your own future. You're the CEO of your own company. I always tell everybody when they ever come to me, and it's funny, I'll send them little messages and I'll check in on them, and they'll send me a message and they'll talk, you know, tell me, you know, how they're doing, but they'll always let me know what's going on in their business, and they feel like they have to report to me and tell me what they're not doing or why they're not doing it or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? The cool thing is that you're your own boss, and you can do what you want when you want, or if you want. And I'm just checking in on you because I love you and I'm your friend. And that's the truth of the matter. So I talked to my business coach today, and I'm not going to mince words when I'm shocked when he tells me that I'm one of those people that really ramps him up whenever he gets on the phone with me because of my attitude. My attitude is positive. And he said, you're one of the rarest people that I talk to. You don't blame your team when things aren't going well. You don't look at who's not working. You don't blame people for not doing what you think they should be doing. Your focus is not what's going wrong and who's not working and what's not working. Your focus is on yourself. And he's right. You know, whenever something's not working, you need to look in the mirror and face the truth, because the answer for what's not working is you. It's never your team. It's never who's working, who's not working, who's doing something, who's not doing something. It has nothing to do with all those people on your team. It has to do with you and yourself only. And that's where the focus needs to be. So That's what we're talking about tonight, self-management. Not everybody who comes into this profession is prepared to be a business owner. You know, Bob Heilig says it really succinctly. He says, you know, we've got people that own brick and mortar businesses, and they will 5 years of their time, they'll invest $500,000 opening it up. They won't even take a paycheck for the first 5 years. They're just trying to get their business off and running and try to turn a profit. And yet they come into this thing, and if in the first 6 months they're not making 10 grand a month, they quit. And he's like, it's like, what planet are you living on? It's not like the realities of the real world that applied into your real traditional business don't apply here. There's a learning curve. There's some skills. You got to work really hard and not get paid a lot in the beginning. But let me tell you something, when you get this thing going, you're going to be paid so much that you're going to wonder, you know, what did I do to earn all this money this month? That's sort of how I feel in a way. But you're not going to take that paycheck and pay it back. You're not going to turn it around and pay it back. And when you get to the point where you're successful and things are just going, then sometimes you look and go, okay, well, I didn't work as hard this month for that big paycheck. No, because the work that you did to get that big paycheck was done months, sometimes years ago. The sacrifice that you put in, the long hours, the things you gave up, the television shows you quit watching, the football games you didn't go to, the time that you asked other people to take care of your kids, or maybe hired a babysitter, or like Sarah did, she hired a house cleaner. Every 2 weeks had somebody come in and clean the house. You know, whatever you can delegate. You know, if she's making short-term sacrifices for long-term gain, but the fact is, when you look back on that, it seems like it happened overnight. You forget how many hard hours, long hours you worked to get the ball, the big snowball going up the mountain. But the fact is, that is the reality. That's the way this thing works. You put in a lot of hours in the beginning, you're paid little on the front end, but eventually you get that thing going and you just are relentless about it, and it will pay you and pay you and pay you and pay you and pay you. And it is an incredible, incredible lifestyle and reality that you can live. So you got to manage your mindset to develop that entrepreneurial mind. You have to manage your expectations, your emotions, your time. You have total control over those three things. Yeah, you can't control the outcome and the results of the work that you put in, but you can control your emotions. You can control your thoughts. You can control the words that come out of your mouth. You can control your time. You literally have control over those things. And so when you learn to do those and control those areas of your life, you will be on your way to success. Trust me. Oh my gosh, trust me. Because a lot of that has to do with being intentional, being effective, and also being really intent on personal self-growth. Personal growth. Okay, so managing your time, managing your emotions, and managing your expectations. That is going to be so important in your success. Okay, so treat it like a business, you'll get paid like a business. Treat it like a hobby, you'll get paid like a hobby, which is like nothing, big old egg, big old zero, right? And we blame everything for our lack of success. I know, because I've heard it from everybody. I've heard just about every excuse that there's possible to come out of people's mouths. I have heard it. Okay, so sometimes this is the excuse that people will give before they get in. They'll say, I don't have time to do this business. And then when they get in and they work the business, they'll use the same excuse to not do the work. It's absolutely crazy. We all have the same amount of time. It's what you choose to do with it. So you can make small sacrifices on the short term for the long-term gain. But it's up to you. I will hear people use their children as an excuse. And I know I'm hitting home, okay? Because I tread on really shallow water, or should you say thin ice, when I say something like that, because I'm not a mom. I know I don't have children, but I've talked to and coached a lot of people. And that is one of the big thing that's one of the biggest things people like to fall back on. They use their kids as an excuse. My kids, I don't want to take away time from my children. This is a really important time in their lives. Okay, no one's telling you to not be with your kids. No one's telling you to take away from your children and to not raise your children. But what we are saying is, if you have told me your goals, you've told me your dreams, you've told me what you want, so now we have to carve out some hours. So how many hours are you willing to carve out? So you're going to have to get real intentional about when you take those hours. They have to either be early in the morning, they have to be when your kids are at school, or they're going to have to be a little bit later at night. So you're going to have to get very intentional about the hours that you choose to work this business, and not use your kids as an excuse, because truly it is a legitimate reason to not work your business. But I always say this: for every person who tells me that this cannot be done, and they use their kids or whatever other thing as an excuse, there's somebody else out there with a worse situation, with more kids and less money. And by golly freaking A, they are making it work, okay? There's always somebody out there making it work for every person that's given me an excuse. So it's like, I don't have a lot of sympathy. You eventually choose to do what you want to do, and no one is going to hold it against you. You get to make those choices, but don't play the blame game, okay? Don't blame the lack of time. It's the product that's not working. It's my upline. It's my downline. It's the people that are not working. It's the people that are quitting. It's this, it's that. Okay, no, remember, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror, because the answer to success is right there looking at you in the mirror. I could just go on and on about this. Okay, so network marketing professionals take accountability. They take responsibility for themselves. They take accountability for their own actions, their daily activities, and their own personal results. They do. They don't put it off on other things. If you're a business owner, okay, let me ask you something, all right? I'm always going back to this kid thing because it's one of the real common ones that I hear from a lot of folks. Why can't you be a full-time career woman and build Plexus on the side? Why can't you? That's what I did. So if a full-time career person working 15, sometimes 60 hours a week can build Plexus on the side, why can't a full-time mom build Plexus on the side? So you've got a full-time thing that you're doing. You can find time to do this on the side. You can find time. All right. How did Sarah manage her time? How did she do it? Okay. She was working part-time alongside her full-time career and commitments. And she was a brand new busy teacher with all the lesson plans and the prep that she was doing, actively involved in her church, her husband's business, which is really big right now, a lot of volunteer projects. She got asked to be on every committee. Like most people, she was really busy, okay? But she knew if she wanted to find success in her business, she had to implement some systems and establish hours of operation in order to stay focused and make the best of what little time that she did have available. So what she did is she took everything day by day, and she told herself, I can do anything for a short period of time to produce long-term financial freedom for myself and my family. And if somebody were to ask me, was it worth it, all the sacrifice? Yes, absolutely. Walking my dog every single day instead of standing in front of a classroom, cuddling with my dog in the afternoon instead of standing in a classroom, cooking stew. That's what I did yesterday. I cooked stew. I worked my business. I made some phone calls. Yeah. And I watched a TV show sort of while I was making my stew instead of standing in a classroom. That's called freedom. I went to the gym in the morning instead of having to drag my little rear end in there at 6 o'clock at night, barely able to make it, running on fumes. Okay, that's worth it. It was worth all the hard work. Many of you are facing that type of a schedule. So it's critical that you learn how to make the most of your part-time hours so that you can experience success in your business. You can work your business part-time, but you can't work it sometimes. That means you can consistently work it on a part-time basis, but you can't just inadvertently here and there in little spurts, whenever it comes around, work it sometimes, because that is inconsistency. And that is not what a CEO of a business. Let me ask you a question. Would you hire you to work for you? Oh, did I hit home? Would you hire you to work for you in your own business? That's a question you should ask yourself, because remember, managing yourself is your greatest asset. If you can learn to manage yourself, your emotions, your time, your energy, all that, and you are going to be successful. So what's the bottom basis hours of operation that you need if you're going to be successful in getting this thing off to a start? 10 to 15 hours a week. Bottom basement. 10 to 15 hours a week of income producing activities, not scrolling around on Facebook, not listening to the 15,000th video that you can come across. It's so awesome and inspiring. Not learning and consuming more and more and more information, commenting on everybody's posts, organizing your desk, getting some folders put together and preparing to get ready. Okay, no, it's sharing your business and inviting people to learn more. It's sharing your product and service and inviting people to try them. And it's following up, signing people up, enrolling them and helping them get started and helping them to do the same. Okay? That's what you should be spending. 70% of your time should be focused on your personal business. Okay? Whatever time you've carved out, 70% of that has got to be on your personal business. So look at your planner and block out the time. That's how you're going to do it. You have to get your planner and you've got to block out your hours. You have to control your time, or your time is going to get away from you. It's going to control you. Which is it? You only have so many hours, so you've got to really block it out. So we can't complain about our busy schedule, as it's the only person that can create it is yourself. Maybe you need to go through your busy schedule and select some things that you just shouldn't be doing anymore. Okay, and I'm not talking about creature comforts. How about let's get real serious about all the committees we're saying yes to? Do we need to be saying yes to all those committees? What about every single thing? If you're doing everything in your house and no one is helping you, and you have a large family, it's time to delegate some things out. Some people need to be on board with you building a financial freedom for your family. You can't do everything and cover all these bases and work a big old business. Okay? You don't have it to do. You've got to delegate some authority and ask for some help. Get your shareholders, which are your family, get them involved and have them really get on board with you and see that you have a vision. Tell them what you're doing this and why you're doing this for them, and have them want to help you. Tell them what you need. Ask for help. You're going to have to say no to some things. Okay? And I'm not talking about just lollygagging and creature comforts. You're going to have to say no to some of the things that you think are so important that have to be done. No, they are not so important that they have to be done. Either just let them not be done, or find somebody else to do them. Because you've got goals. and you've got dreams, and you've got to carve out the 10 to 15 hours that it takes to do income producing activity. So there, I think I covered that. Short-term sacrifice for a long-term freedom. Don't be dissuaded by all these daily distractions. Okay. Remember, you're making these little exchanges. You're exchanging short-term work and intensity for a long life worth of freedom. Is it worth it for you? You're going to make those exchanges. It takes, guys, listen to me. It takes hunger. How hungry are you? How bad do you want this? It takes laser sharp focus. It takes intensity. It takes tunnel blinders on vision. It takes you being like a dog with a bone that's not going to let it go. Now, I know that that's my personality, everything I just described. But there are some really introverted people on this team and some introverted, quieter women that I've met all throughout this company that had the same intense focus, dog with a bone, won't let it go, because they had a vision and they wanted it so bad for their family. They're just not loud and like me, okay? So you can be your version of intense. A dog with a bone that won't let it go. Laser-like focus, vision, and you're gonna make it work. You're gonna make it happen. That's what it takes. You gotta be willing to pay a price for true time and financial freedom. It just doesn't just happen to you. Okay, so the importance of personal growth. Oh my gosh, don't get me started. This is something people neglect. They neglect it and they think they can just, why do I need to do that? I'm a great person. I don't need to grow personally. What is personal growth anyway? Don't get me started. Well, let me just kind of tell you. This is a story that she shares about the starving baker. And she says, are you the starving baker? It's sort of the person I just described, okay? Who's doing all the work, who's busy giving and giving and giving and giving, and no one is helping. There's a brand new, beautiful bakery built right around down the road. The aroma of fresh pastries fills the air. This is where hot, delightful treats are served all day long. Hot, delightful treats served all day long by you. You're doing it all the time. You go in, the baker is brilliant. You order your treat and watch as the baker does his thing. He's magnificent, and watching him is so inspiring. He does everything himself. He cleans the tables, he tends to the cash register, he bakes the goods, greets the guests, and you start to notice that he's surprisingly thin, and you begin to think, he's so busy baking for others, he's forgetting to eat. He's the starving baker because he's not feeding himself. He's working from an empty cup. And that's what a lot of moms out there that I talk to, they're doing it all. They think that if it's not them that does it, it's never going to get done. And they think that all the things have to be done and that they can't rely on their kids to help them out, their spouse to help them out, maybe hire somebody to come in and help them out. Instead, they do it all and they have nothing left to give to themselves or to the people when they talk to them on the phone and their business, and they just quit. They use that as an excuse, and then they say it can't be done. Yes, it can be done. Personal growth is learning to recognize that and not do everything. Are you the starving baker? So many of us are so busy that we fall into that starving baker mode. We get so wrapped up in the job, the problems of the family, the house, the errands, and everybody's drama and their junk, that all of the things that really matter, we never push pause on anything. And we never take time to feed our soul. So let me ask you a question. Are you doing anything to feed your soul? What are you doing to fill your cup? Are you taking time for your personal, professional growth because it provides a nourishment for your soul. It fuels your mind. It allows you to think positively and gives you some time, some moments to be introspective. And it really does push you into creativity mode. It really does bring about creativity in yourself, and you start to have different thoughts of things that you could do, maybe different people that you could talk to. It may also filling your soul, thinking about something positive, reading something positive, listening to positive music, reading the scripture, whatever it is that you need to do to fill your cup. Reading something professionally profound that's going to feed you in this industry and make you believe in yourself, that's filling your cup. If you're not doing that and you're saying, I don't need that, I don't need to read any of these industry books, I don't need to read John Maxwell, I don't need to read Noah St. John, I don't need to read anything that's going to teach me any skill. I've got mad skills. I can talk to anybody. I'm good at this. That is really arrogant to say that you don't need to read and be inspired by the success of other people that have gone before you, because they're going to give you ideas, and they're going to make you brave, and they're going to make you bold, and they're going to make you believe in yourself, and they're going to help increase your confidence, and they're going to help you fill your cup and your mind so that when you talk to others, you'll have something to say. When you speak to others and you are doing for others, you'll have something to give, right? You will only go as far as you can grow. Your personal growth level is a direct reflection of your paycheck. Ouch. I love it that Bob Heilig talks about some of these things. You know, he has this talk that he talks about called the success equation. And the success equation is 3 things. And one of those 3 things is personal growth and development. It doesn't mean watching thousands of videos, watching the next live on Facebook that trains you how to do some mad skill. He's talking about filling your cup, reading something inspiring from someone successful who's gone before you, that gives you an idea of what you could do, gives you an idea of your potential, helps you to believe in yourself, and gives you the belief that you're dying and desperate for. But people, when they're refusing to do this, you know, then they prevent their own success, because the level of your personal growth and development is a direct reflection of your paycheck. And sometimes people get into this business and they look at others and they see them succeeding so quickly, and they wonder why. Why are you so successful? And it's taken me 14 years or whatever. That's just a number I pulled out of the hat. It's taken me 6, 8 months, a year, 2 years, and I haven't sponsored one person or whatever. And okay, well, what about in the last 20 years of whatever it is that they did in their career? They built their people skills, they invested in relationships, and they built up a level of trust in their community among many people, and many people trusted them and admired them and looked up to them, and they had the patience of Job because they worked in some of the most trying situations with other people in those relationships, and they had so much talent and people skills that they went like that. Okay. In other words, there's a scale. Okay. And when some people come in, they come in down here, and other people come in and they come in already up here in their personal growth and development program. And so they're already more developed. And so that makes them more successful. I'm trying to tell you that personal growth and development is essential. It's essential. Get yourself some books. It's not like you're going to read a book tomorrow and you're going to be a different person, but trust me, you're going to believe more in you. You're going to think differently. You're going to have different thoughts about yourself. You're going to believe more in yourself. You might think of some new thing you could do. You might get a little creative juice, 10 pages a day, every single day. By the end of the year, you'll have read 20 books. Kid you not. Don't tell me you won't be a different person at the end of 20 books. Holy cow. You'll probably go, man, I'm freaking diamond before I can even do it. Sorry. Okay. All right. So Sarah got into, she got into a parking lot one day, and she had this come to a parking lot moment, like come to Jesus moment. And she was just this big bundle of doubt and fear. She allowed every distraction in her life to discourage her. She allowed every disappointment to demotivate her. She had daily I quit moments. Have we all been there? Okay. I've never thought about quitting. I'm going to be honest. I haven't, but I know a lot of people have, and it's human and it's okay. That's her. That was her. If that's you, okay, relate. She's a top earner. She had her I quit moments. So are you on the Plexus roller coaster? Because if that's you, that's going to take your mindset. It's going to put it in the gutter. It's time to get off the roller coaster. It's time to stop that ride. It's time to refocus. It's time to recommit and reestablish your goals and restart your business if that's you. And you can do it. You can do it. Absolutely. Do you know that every diamond has had to start over again? Do you know that every diamond has had to reinvent themselves and learn another social media platform? Do you know that every diamond has had to start over because big people have left their team and taken it to some other company and they've had to rebuild? Okay. We've all had that happen on our teams in small ways. I've had big people leave. Thank God, not massively big, but big enough to where it hurt. Okay. So you can either quit or you can dig in and reinvent yourself. It can be done. It always can. So Sarah used to say things like, nobody's joining my team. Everybody's quitting. Well, wouldn't you know, that's exactly what was happening because that's what was coming out of her mouth. Listen to what's coming out of your mouth. Realize that your words are power and they're going to bring about a harvest in your life, whether it's good or bad. So make the commitment to have your words be something that's going to bring about positive influence in your business. So she was sitting in that car one day, she picked up the phone and her mentor said to her, Sarah, do you want to know what's really been holding you back? She was like, oh my gosh, somebody's going to tell me the nugget, the thing that's holding me back. She's like, you are doing all the right things by going through all the motions. In other words, her work ethic was good. She was throwing a lot of mud up on the wall, seeing if it'll stick, right? She's like, you're showing up to every meeting, you're doing all the calls, you're doing all the legwork, but your problem is that your thoughts toward your business and your team do not align up with each other for your goals of success. They don't line up. Your words aren't aligning up either, and you need to make a decision to be successful. You need to make a decision to be successful. She was right. Sarah said she was going through the motions. She was just doing the things, going through the motions, but she hadn't really made up it in her mind and declared that she was going to be successful. You have to be there in order to be successful. You have to make that declaration and you have to say, I am going to do this. I am going to be successful and I will do whatever it takes. So that day she made that declaration. She began to change all of those declarations. I have the fastest growing team in the company. I will be a top earner and a top leader in the company. And none of that was true at the time, but guess what? It's all true now. So who's to say that that doesn't work? Look, you have to say it to believe it because your mind does not believe anything that's real, but it will believe what you tell it. If you say the words, your mind will believe it, even though it's not real and it's not happening at the time, because it's going to create that reality for you. You're going to start seeing opportunities where there were not opportunities before. You're going to feel more confident. You're going to feel more powerful, and you can do it. If you start speaking life over yourself and your business, everything will change. It's not because she worked harder. People think, oh, I just got to work harder. No, she needed to make that decision and start making the right words come out of her mouth, declare that she was going to be successful, and match her mindset with all of her actions. So she worked harder on her personal growth for the first 2 years than she worked on anything else. So if you're at a point where you're at a standstill, you're in a slump, you can't get out of it, you need to work on you. Work on you while you're doing the Plexus business. Work on you. Make that one of your number one priorities. Okay? So, grow yourself, your team's going to grow. Grow you, your paycheck will get bigger. Grow you. Okay? One of the most important exercises you can do to begin your business and identify is your reason for why. Why are you doing this? And what's driving you emotionally to develop a successful business? Well, it's going to be your why. If time and money were no issue, what would your life look like? You need to answer those questions. You need to write this all down. Okay? Where would you live? What would you be driving? What would you be doing with your time? Would you have any debt? In other words, what will a successful business do for your life, your family's life, and your lifestyle? You've got to define that. Now, you need to clearly write that down. Why are you doing your business? Write it down. The more specific, the more powerful it's going to be for you. Now, make it compelling so that it causes you to find the time to do it, to face your fears, and persevere. Persevere. Okay? Touch your why on every area of your life. Your health, your finances, your spiritual life, your business, your marriage. Come on, get real with it. And write down your why. What do you want your real life to look like? Your why life. Your big life. If money were no issue, what would your life look like? Okay? Now, anything is possible if your reason why is big enough. Anything is. Right? So, now, how do you get an elephant? How do you eat an elephant? Hold on. What is my dog eating? Okay, good. He's eating just his chew stick. I thought he had gotten a hold of something bad. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So now that means goal setting. Setting short-term goals along the way that allow you to celebrate more immediate successes. So successful people always have their next goal in mind. Remember how I've been telling you what's my goal? My goal for this month is to get 3 people. I've already got 1 in the works right now. I'm trying to get 2 more. And that 1 hadn't done anything yet. But you know what? I am not going to end my month until I have exhausted every option to get my 3 people. Because I tell everybody on my team to do it. So by golly, I better go do it. Okay? Plexus is offering a huge incentive. But right now, I know what I did the previous 3 months. I just followed up with folks and managed my team because I was moving and packing and buying and traveling and all the stuff, right? So guess what? I have to generate new leads. I have to revive old leads. And that's what I've been focused on. So in my team chat, what have I been saying? That my goal for the next 90 days is to talk to as many people as I can because I want a freaking rock solid 2020. I want 2020 to be amazing. So that's why I'm doing this. I am talking and talking and messaging and talking and building relationships, connecting with people. Happy birthday. Let me send you a free stick of Slim. I would love to celebrate you this month. Oh, your kids look so great. Oh my gosh, look at those cute clothes. Where did you find that? Oh, I love your vacation pictures. Comment on their stuff and send them a personal message with some emojis. Okay. And guess what? We get into conversations. Oh, by the way, Suzanne, I have seen all that about Plexus. Tell me about that. Bam. Waiting for that conversation to happen. Already had 2 of them in the past 2 weeks. Don't you think I'm offering to sell a sample to that person? Don't you think I'm going to be putting them in a 7-day challenge? Inviting them to some team events? How are you going to develop those relationships if you're not talking to people? Okay, so what am I saying? I'm telling you my goals. I'm the leader. If I'm not going to tell my goals to you and execute them, then by golly, how in the world do I expect you to do it? So you've got to set some short-term goals, and you got to get out there and start working on them. Develop a plan. What does it take to get you there, and whose help are you going to need? What daily activities are you going to have to implement yourself and with your team to achieve that goal? You need to come up with that. Okay. One of her fun business partners, Carrie, this is great advice that Carrie gave her. She said that she focuses more on lead measures than lag measures. What are lag measures? Lag measures are the results of all the work that you're doing. You have no control over those results. You can do all the work that you want, but in the end, you have no control over the outcome of any of it. Okay? You can't control people and their decisions. You can't. But you can control your lead measures, which is all the activity that you put into your business. You can control that. That's the amount of activity, the daily activities that you do to move your business forward. So why don't you focus on your lead measures and track them, okay? Even if it's okay if you track all the no's that you're getting, okay? Because the more of those that you get, the more yeses you're gonna get. So that's how you're gonna meet your goals. Create a visual reminder of, like posting pictures for the things that you're working towards. Put them, pray about them too. Guys, if you're a Christian like me, you cannot leave prayer out of this. You have to pray over your team, pray over your friends, they're your friends, pray over their families, and pray over the people that God is going to potentially bring you. Because only you can help certain people. And God has made you and given you this gift and this vehicle to be able to help certain individuals that nobody but you can help. Nobody but you knows them. Nobody but you has the right personality. Nobody but you has the right heart to help these people. And you better pray that God will bring them into your life, because trust me, it will happen when you're doing the work and you pray at the same time. God will meet you where you're at and he will bring in a harvest. But you have to be doing the work. You can't just sit around, hope, and wish. You have to be doing the work and at the same time believing and praying that God will do that. And the two together will bring in that harvest. One of the keys to achieving your goals is to share your goals with somebody that you care about, or somebody that can hold you accountable, somebody that you know that is safe and loves you and will hold you accountable and not be vicious about it, but just loves you and cares about you. Share that with somebody. Post your pictures in your planner, on the home screen of your smartphone, on your bathroom mirror. That's where I love to post mine. And right now it bugs Tom because we're in the same bathroom together and he doesn't want to look at all that stuff on the mirror. So, you know what? While you're on your journey, you've got to play that part. You have to. You've heard the old saying, fake it until you make it. Well, I want to encourage you to play the part of a successful entrepreneur. This includes setting up a professional voicemail on your phone, setting up professional profiles online. What does your Facebook wall say? If it does not say ambassador at Plexus Worldwide, then nobody on your social media knows what you're doing. Okay? Create professional email signatures. Okay? That way that it includes a link to your website on your signature. Get business cards right away. Order brochures or samples from your company and share them. Dress the part. You never know when you're going to meet your next rock star out and about. I'm not kidding. I listened to a diamond. Last thing I'm going to say. If you've not listened to these diamond calls that were on last week, you need to listen to them. Okay. Not all of them are diamonds, but they're all jewels. And this one girl talked about how she's a sapphire today, and all of her level 1 rock stars and the people that are with her doing this business, she met them all online in social media groups, and she did not know them before Plexus. So let me tell you something. If she can do it, we can all do it. You don't think you've got a network? Well, join the club. I don't really have a network either. I worked really hard and my nose was to the grindstone. I didn't build a lot of relationships. I helped my students in my classroom. I talk to their parents sometimes, but I talk to about 3 or 4 teachers every day, and that's it. And I did not build a lot of relationships outside of what I was doing as a teacher for 23 years. You don't think that's hurt my network? Yeah, it has. So I've had to really work hard on building new relationships. And I know that if I keep doing it and never give up and keep talking to people and keep building relationships and keep talking to them and finding common ground and getting in conversation and getting in groups and messaging people, giving them a genuine compliment and sincerely meaning it and forming a bond and keeping track of them and not letting them fall through the cracks, I know that eventually I'm going to find somebody else that has the same desires, needs, and wants as I do. And I know they're going to join me. We're going to link arms and we're going to build it together. And I know that, okay? So look, if that girl that talked about that did that, why can't we all do it? Diamond Christy White. Diamond Christy White lives out in East Texas. I love telling her story. She is a woman who dealt with post-traumatic stress. She has dealt with chronic depression her whole life. She has had to file bankruptcy in her traditional businesses. She, at the time she joined Plexus, she had $33 in her bank account. And her kids were going through the icebox, the refrigerator, saying, "Mom, when are you going to go to the store? We don't have any food." That's where she was at. She had worked 6 other network marketing or direct sales businesses and never could make them work. And one day, a girl on a work from home website, Tamara Holloway, on a Facebook work from home website, answered Christy White's question. Christy White posted, "I'm looking for something that I can do from home. I am desperate. Tell me what you got." And Tamara Holloway was one of maybe 100 people who answered that question on a work from home website. Christy White answered Tamara Holloway and said, "Tell me what you got." And Tamara said, "Talk to me on the phone and I'll talk to you." Do you know that Tamara Holloway is one of our biggest diamonds today, but at the time was only a little senior gold? If you think you're just an only little senior gold, I don't have much, I'm just a senior gold, I can't do it. Well, guess what? Tamara Holloway sponsored a diamond at senior gold, Christy White. And Christy White, listen to her. She took her $33 out of her bank account. She bought a website from Plexus because she couldn't afford the products. She went down to the local library because she had no Wi-Fi, and she started posting about the business on her Facebook account because she could not buy anything, okay? She had to post about the business and start getting a PV. She got commission qualified. She got some customers. She had some ambassadors join her team. By the end of about 2 months of doing that, she had enough money to where she could go into the grocery store and buy 2 full baskets of groceries for her family, and she bought her welcome pack before the 60-day cutoff. Today, she's a diamond. She went emerald in 11 months. She did it all online. Christy White. And where did Tamara Holloway meet Christy White? In an online work from home group, where everybody is telling me that they can't do it and it cannot be done. Trust me, someone else is out there doing it. That's what I want to end with. So we're going to have a good Q&A tonight, and I hope that this has inspired you to believe in yourself and to rein in your emotions, manage your time, and grow personally, because those are the 3 things you have control over. Learn how to manage yourself, and you will be a successful entrepreneur in your company, whatever you're doing in life. Okay, signing off. Love from me to you. Mwah. Join us next week for chapter 4.